The US Federal Reserve raised interest rates by 75 basis points last week, the single largest increase since 1994. How will these efforts to curb rising inflation play out, and could this affect the crypto markets? Joining us is Annabelle Huang, Managing Partner of Amber Group. It's great to have you with us, Annabelle.
Thanks, good to be here again.
Now, we are in the midst of some very choppy times. What are your thoughts on the crypto market's response to the Fed's rate decision? What are you reading of the market at this point?
There was all eyes on the Fed minutes last Wednesday. For us, we have seen that 75 basis points was fully priced in, so we expected the Fed to take the action and actually raise rates by 75 basis points. But there was a recovery rally going after it because a lot of the statements or forward guidance has been actually more dovish than some others might have expected. We left some room for another 50 to 75 basis point hike for the next meeting. And I think everyone is adjusting to it in terms of expectation.
As you pointed out, we've had a bit of a bounce come in after the rate hike was announced. Possibly it was already built into the levels we are at. But will we see Bitcoin and the wider crypto markets kind of stay correlated with equities? What's your sense here?
Yeah, I think in the short term, all the risk assets will move in tandem, just because we're in a very extreme risk-off environment at the moment, and it's very macro-driven, depending on a lot of the policies coming out of the central banks in the US and looking at Japan as well, and possibly elsewhere in Europe. So it's quite an interesting time. Bitcoin and the major tokens has moved largely almost one-to-one to equities recently, and I think I at least personally expect that to persist in the short term. But we are seeing some of the more crypto or on-chain events that might happen later this year as well, looking at the merge and possibly other factors that might have a decoupling effect from crypto to risk assets in general. And hopefully that is to the upside.
Well, it's really hard to call levels in markets like these when we're extremely choppy. But are we at the bottom of the crypto markets? What are the critical levels you are watching for? Where would we possibly see a bottom?
Yeah, it's a great question, and trust me, we have that discussion with clients all day long. And from a technical perspective, I think where we're at now, so at around 20K for Bitcoin and 1,000 for Ethereum, is some of a resistance level or support level. But I wouldn't be surprised personally if we do break it. And I think the next level we're looking at is around 18K for Bitcoin and possibly 800 for Ethereum. There is a CME gap level at 18.5 thousand, and historically, 90% of these are filled. So we might see another leg down there.
This, after all, is Crypto Rising. Thanks, Annabelle, for joining us today.